Welcome back to the garden. I know it's been a while, but I've been really busy doing a lot of new projects. So let's take a look and get right into it. First of all, it's gotten a lot colder, which kind of sucks, but the lemon and lime trees are doing okay so far, I'm glad to report. This bed has a lot of things going on in it, but the flowers are coming in really pretty, and I'm glad about that. We're still getting a lot of eggplant, which quite frankly I'm sick of them now and I wish I had more neighbors to give them to. But this is actually my favorite place to be in the garden right now. We've got this beautiful loofah and squash and even some beans and flowers binding up this arch. So I like to come out every morning and check how everything's looking on it. I've even got some green beans poking out of the corner of this bed. So needless to say, it's one of my favorite places to come look. And these crazy squash, they really took over this bed, but I've got two that look pretty good. Can't wait to harvest. And this is where I've started to tuck in some smaller winter things to replace the summer things as they die off. Lastly, on this bed, I tucked in a small white cucumber plant. It's doing some weird stuff, so I hope I get some cucumbers. Now onto this bed. This is where I've been tucking more of my winter stuff, which as you can see is doing pretty well. I've got collards, bok choy, and kale you can see right there in the front, and then some smaller things kind of filling in. This is a crazy volunteer melon. I'm really excited about it because it was kind of expensive, so I'm really hoping that I actually get some melons. Oh, and it was absolutely delicious. Fortunately, this bed is starting to gather itself. I planted a lot of peas in here a few weeks ago, so those are doing okay. I know they'll take off as it gets colder, but they have been growing pretty slow so far. I did plant some beans in here too. They're not doing much yet, and I'm not sure if they will considering the fact that it's getting cooler, and by cooler I mean mid-50s. But I'm excited about the peas. This is a watermelon plant that I'm not expecting much from, but the bees have been enjoying it, so I am leaving it where it is. And then most excitingly for me is this flower I planted. I got the seeds from Baker Creek. It is a moonflower. It's opened a couple of times so far, but the flowers are just so cute and they're so beautiful. So I'll have to keep my eyes open to see if I get more seeds from it because I need to save those seeds. It is such a cute little flower. Now, I did start this really late. This is an Armenian cucumber plant, and if you don't know anything about those, that's okay because I just started learning about them. But they are a cucumber that really thrives in the heat. So cucumbers are my favorite garden vegetable, and obviously I struggle with the heat here. So I was really excited to have these. It might be too late in the season to get any cucumbers, but it looks like I might get some. And another reason I'm glad to have it is the bees seem to really be enjoying it as well. So if I only get one cucumber, it's worth it to me. And of course, what I always call my favorite bed, but it's hard to pick a favorite. Lots of cucumbers in here, tomatoes, basil, flowers, herbs, lettuce, radishes, green beans. There's so much growing in here. So I'm kind of excited because I think this will be an experiment to see how well things grow when there's a lot of diversity in the garden bed. I'd say so far so good. So I might end up doing this a lot more in my garden beds in the future. And this is the star of the show. This is my Morning Glory moonflower. It has bloomed a couple of times, but I've missed it so far. I'm not sure if it maybe only blooms at night, so I gotta get out here and check it. But the flowers have been beautiful, even though I haven't seen them fully open. The cucumbers on the back of this bed have been really popular with the bees, but so far they're growing pretty slow because of the cooler weather, but I am hopeful that maybe I can get a couple of cucumbers before it gets too cold. Now on to one of my square foot gardens. I have finally got some tomatillos. I screwed it up this summer because I didn't know that you needed two plants for them to pollinate each other, but I successfully got two plants and they're looking pretty good. Once again, not sure if the cold weather will affect them, but they look pretty good so far. And this is my Santa Fe Grande pepper plant. It is so loaded down with peppers that some of the branches are actually breaking, and I was able to use them in a recipe this week and I burned off my fingertips. They were way spicier than I thought they would be, but I was thankful that at least I had some peppers from the garden to use. And here's just some winter things tucked into the square foot garden, some dill, cilantro, bok choy. This tomato plant is looking pretty good, and then we've got a lot of peppers on the cayenne pepper plant waiting to ripen. I'm not sure if the cold will affect the ripening of those, but there's a lot ready to ripen when that happens. Oof, and now some new projects. We've been so busy doing new projects. As you can see, we've pretty much doubled, or maybe more than doubled, the size of the garden by building some new beds. It's going to take a long time to get irrigation run out there, to put up the fencing to keep the rabbits out, and to add dirt, but it's going to be worth it when we're done, and fortunately it's not too hot to be working out in the garden, so stay tuned for those beds to be completed. And my clover lawn! This is something that I am so extremely excited about. I did a lot of research because I'd really like more green around the garden. So I picked a variety of clover, planted it, and it is doing so extremely well. I am so excited about this. There's a lot of benefits to clover. If you're not familiar with it, I am going to make a video when it fills in a little bit more and it's more exciting, because as you can see, there's not a ton of it yet. Maybe again because of the cold, but I'll definitely do a video to talk about why I did clover, how I did it, and how it's coming along. So if it's something that you're interested in, definitely stay tuned. And that is the perfect segue to my other project, making a walking path. There's a lot of reasons why I wanted to do this, and it actually ended up being a lot more difficult than I thought it was going to be, and so in some areas it looks pretty rough. So it's tiring to work on as well. So I've been trying to just place like one stone a day, just get out to the garden, dig that hole, and put in one stone each day. And when they're done, I will paint them. I've done that before and it came out really nice and actually lasted. So that's a garden project that's probably going to be ongoing for a little while. And that's the garden for November. Thanks for watching.